In a remote corner of Serbia, where the shadows of the past linger like the dense fog rolling through the hills, a tale as ancient as the land itself begins to unfurl. This village, once vibrant and alive, now wore the cloak of dread, as whispers of a curse spread like wildfire among the townsfolk. It wasn't just the tales of the Ottoman rule that haunted their dreams, it was something far more sinister. As the full moon cast a ghostly light on the cobblestone streets, a group of villagers gathered around the flickering lantern, their faces pale, eyes wide, haunted by fear. They spoke in hushed tones about Petar Blagojevic, a man who had lived among them, a man who had become a symbol of their struggle against their oppressors, yet now seemed to embody something far darker. They remembered him as a Hajduk, a rebel who fought valiantly against Ottoman forces. Little did they know, Petar's legacy was about to blur the lines between myth and reality, sending tremors of terror through their hearts. Petar Blagojevic had once been the heart of this village, a figure of resilience and courage. After his heroic battles against the Ottoman Empire, he traded his sword for a plow, choosing the simple life of a farmer. The house was modest, full of memories of laughter and love, but beneath the surface of this tranquility lay an unsettling truth. As Petar looked out at the endless expanse of wheat swaying gently in the breeze, he felt the weight of 1,000 unspoken fears. The year was 1725, a time of transition as Serbia passed from Ottoman control to the Habsburg Empire. But with this change came an ominous shift. Strange occurrences began to ripple through the village. Shadows flickered at dusk, and whispers echoed in the silence. Petar tried to dismiss the tales of the undead and curses, but deep down, he sensed something was amiss. His fellow villagers, once a source of comfort, now cast worried glances in his direction, their eyes filled with suspicion and dread. Rumors spread like a disease, infecting the hearts and minds of the villagers. In the weeks that followed Petar's return to a quiet life, 10 of his fellow villagers succumbed to an inexplicable fate, their lives extinguished in a matter of days. Each death was shrouded in mystery, accompanied by tales of a curse, a dark presence that had taken root in their midst. As the villagers convened in the forest, the air was thick with fear, their lantern casting a flickering light that barely penetrated the encroaching darkness. They exchanged stories of the deceased, recalling the moments leading up to their tragic ends, those hollow eyes, the pallor of their skin, the strange sounds that echoed in the night. Could it be Petar? One voice trembled, breaking the uneasy silence. The thought hung in the air like a thick fog, as they considered the possibility that their hero had transformed into something monstrous. Their memories of Petar as a brave Hajduk began to fade, replaced by a creeping dread that tainted their past. The villagers, desperate to rid themselves of the terror that loomed over them, sought counsel from their local priest. The church, once a sanctuary, now felt like a prison of despair. It was there that they gathered, drawn together by fear and the hope of finding answers. The priest, a man of faith yet shaken by the recent events, stood at the entrance, clutching his cross, the metal cold and heavy in his hands. "We cannot let fear consume us," he urged, but his voice trembled as he spoke. The congregation listened with bated breath, their minds racing with thoughts of Petar, the man they once revered as a champion of freedom now seemed to embody the very essence of their nightmares. They spoke of the strange happenings, the animals that had gone missing, the chilling howls that echoed through the night, and the feeling of being watched. The priest proposed an exhumation, believing that uncovering the truth about Petar's death might lay the curse to rest. The thought sent shivers down their spines, but desperation drove them forward. They needed closure, even if it meant confronting the very thing they feared. The night of the exhumation arrived, cloaked in an unsettling silence. The villagers gathered at the cemetery, torches flickering nervously in the wind, casting long shadows that danced among the headstones. The priest led the way, his heart heavy with the burden of what they were about to uncover. As they approached Petar's grave, the air grew thick with anticipation and fear. Had they been right to suspect him of dark deeds? The ground was disturbed, the coffin lay open, revealing a sight that would haunt them for eternity. Petar Blagojevic's body was unchanged, his face flushed and remarkably healthy, a stark contrast to the decay they had expected. Gasps filled the air, disbelief painted across their faces. What did this mean? The legends of Nosferatu, of Dracula, of the countless tales spun from the fabric of fear, all paled in comparison to the truth that lay before them. Petar was not a monster, but an enigma, a man who had become the stuff of legends, tangled in the web of history, myth, and the struggle for freedom. As their dread transformed into awe, they were left with the haunting realization that sometimes, the line between hero and villain is drawn by the shadows of our own making.